Hello Virgo, welcome to your reading. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to start by pulling an overall energy from my Animal Oracle deck. And let's see what message we have coming through for you today. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's so funny. This is the exact card that flew out and also fell on the floor when I was shuffling. And I had a feeling it was going to come out again. Okay, so it's Rabbit Spirit. Now is a lucky time. Okay, so when this flew out the first time, I just felt like the immediate intuition that I got is that, like, for Virgo, something's shifting in the energy very recently. So you may have been going through a trial, or it could even be, this is just what I thought when I saw it the first time, could even be that you've been in a certain energy for a really long time, like maybe even your whole lifetime, maybe lifetimes, and things changing and different, situations and initiations and whatnot, but that there's something about the energy right now. And I think this is collective too. I think for a lot of people, it's almost like a wave came in that's just kind of like a cyber blast. It's just, like we're in a slumber and all of a sudden we kind of like wake up, we wake up and we're in a different kind of energy. Okay, so I think that is collective, but this is what feels specific to this reading right now. So let's see what for you, for Virgo. Let's see what comes up in the tarot. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, wow. Okay, so this is a powerful time for you. So we get the Death card, transformation, and again, this kind of has that same energy. Like, it's very similar colors. Very similar colors. Wow, look at that. That's amazing. It's the same artist, but obviously different decks. And so again, it's like this light emerging, it's like there's something emerging into the forefront that hasn't been here in a really long time, or maybe ever. Okay, so a complete transformation. So it's just validating that. I'm excited to see where this goes. Hold on, I have something in my throat. It's kind of early. It's kind of early for me here. So that's where we're at. Okay, there was a card that flipped over. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Alright, I'm just going to shuffle again. Maybe it'll come out. Okay, so Seven of Wands. So this has been showing up in readings recently for me as like a remembrance card, like a remembrance of our true soul nature. So sorry about my throat. Hold on a sec. Let me drink something. Okay. Right. So, this is often a card of you, like you have this original spark, this original knowing, this original idea of who you are and what you want. And somewhere along the way in life or in incarnation, because this can be like a soul, I'm reading this as, especially these days and also right now, as a soul, kind of a soul intention, a soul signature, the truth of who you are, the truth of why you're here, the truth of what you're doing. And then we come down into this density and we forget. Okay, so this has been coming up in a lot of the readings, and again, this is collective energy, but it's really strong in your reading today with these two cards. Okay, so this is a rebirth energy where something is shifting big time, where it's almost like a sunrise, right? Because this is your natural energy. This is your soul signature. This is who you are. This is your blueprint. Why you're here. It's been obscured in the density and in the service as well, and coming to this planet and going through the different karmic situations that we go through, and the cleanup that you've gone through, all to kind of like uncover and release and unlock this original blueprint. So these three cards, very, very powerful message of coming home to self. So what I was going to say about the sunrise is this is your natural state. So the unveiling of this is as natural as a sunrise. So this spark that she's holding has already ignited. It's already happened. Okay, and even the now is a lucky time. It's now. This is already ignited. This is already initiated. So now it's just as natural as the sunrise. That the density that you've been in, whether it's I feel like you're already out. Like I feel like I was going to say whether it's a karmic situation or, you know, I don't feel that you're in the midst. I mean, you might be, but it doesn't feel like the strong message or the strong energy right now is that you're in some kind of karmic situation, you're trying to get out of it. No, you're already there. You know, you've already gone through the transformation. You've already had your phoenix rising. Now you're in this lucky time of remembrance. So what I was going to say is, you know, if there are still patterns of the old kind of lingering on, which is funny because I'm out in the desert house that I'm out on the weekends right now, and my neighbors are shooting guns. So I don't know if you can hear them, but I don't know. It just felt kind of symbolic at some point. Like if there are still things lingering around from your past, you know, some of the memories or the feelings of the woundings or the shots that you've taken, the hits that you've taken, it's like they're falling away now. They're falling away like the sunrise as the sun comes higher and higher in the sky. There's just more and more and more light. So the feeling I'm getting from this is that it's already been initiated. It's very gradual and it's very like gentle and beautiful, like a sunrise. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah, okay, Nine of Swords. So that kind of goes with what I was just saying, like with the gunshots, you know, if there's still like a remnant of that energy, still a remnant of the fear or the need to protect yourself, the need to kind of like lay low and crouch down, and you've been in this position for so long because it was necessary, you know, where you kind of had to stay steady, stay low to the ground, stay just vigilant, maybe even hyper vigilant. So that energy is still around. But again, you know, it's gonna fall away gently. This isn't an indication that like, oh, you know, you have to do this shadow work or you have to go into these deep dives. At least it's not showing it like that at this point in the reading. It's more just kind of like, okay, this energy's still here, but it's like an echo that's falling away. Okay. I'm gonna get another one from this deck. There we go. Okay. Yeah, Six of Air. Okay, great. Awesome. Yes, because you're moving on. This is a card of moving on. It's also a card of seeing 360. You see now. You have the bigger picture. You have the broader view. You've gone through your transformation. So it's like you've crossed that threshold. You're not, you know, before we cross that threshold where we just have that clear view and we understand the purpose of things, it's like it just means we have more initiations to go through. And it's like, this is really showing to me that you've done the initiations, you've done the crunches, you've, you know, been in this energy long enough that this is truly a time when you're moving on. It's truly the lucky time. You know, it's like the time is now. Some people are still kind of going through that cleanup. They're still finding the courage to leave situations. They're still, you know, kind of teetering on the fence. Not Virgo. You guys, or at least those of you that are resonating with this reading, you've already done this. You're really moving into the new right now. Let's see what else it wants to say. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so we get the Seven of Cups and the Four of Cups. So it's like you have all these options and all these choices available to you now. This can be a card of like just kind of sitting in the stillness and tuning into what you want, tuning into your dreams and wishes, fantasizing, daydreaming about it. This is also like a daydream card for me, especially in this moment, because the Four of Cups has different meanings, but often and sometimes, and especially right now, it's this card of sort of like this can be like my higher timeline card when we're tuning into, in the one deck that I have, it's the Silky. She's a Silky, and so when she's a Silky, she longs to be a human, and when she's a human, she longs to be a Silky, and she always kind of has these two worlds that she's teetering in. Okay, so because this is so new for you, that you're moving on and you've been in this energy, it's like you're free from it. You've gone through your transformation. It's like this is the time when you're moving on to back into your original soul blueprint, your original mission, but that means you're moving on to your higher timeline, and there are many things available to you now. There are many opportunities, and even things in your mind or in your perception that weren't before. So desires or ideas, inspirations that you didn't have access to before, now you do, because again, it's like the sunrise card. Somehow this has become my sunrise card, where it's like there's more and more and more light, and as there's more and more and more light, this falls away more and more and more. You're not haunted by this anymore. You're not kind of like, you know, contracted in that fear. You've moved on from this, and so now there are all these other things coming online to consider. Okay, and part of that, what I was saying about this card, with that, this being sort of like the other. Okay, so when you were in this energy, again, you kind of were just dealing with the initiations and the trials and the tasks and the troubles ahead of you, and that was very important because that's how you were doing the shadow work. That's how you were clearing things. That's how you were clearing up karma. That's how you were healing. But now that you've moved on from that energy, or are moving on, you know, again, it's falling away naturally. There are all these other things coming online because there's room for them. Your focus doesn't need to be on the alchemy. It doesn't need to be on the crunches. It doesn't need your for you to kind of be like unplugged. Like sometimes we're unplugged from these higher timelines and these higher possibilities because the priority at that point is to do this, to be in this, to do the shadow walking, you know, the realm walking, and to go into, you know, viscerally the closed doors in our mind and in our past, in our Akasha, to clean all that up. So I feel like a lot of us have been doing that, and I think most people that resonate with this channel kind of do that kind of shadowy work type of stuff. So you've been doing that for a really long time, but it's like, and again, I feel for the collective, it's like this is kind of the time of reward, but that's not really the right word. It is, but it's like it's just time where we've done enough of this that we're clicking onto this higher timeline. And there are new things coming in. Okay, so you're at this point now where you're able to perceive and feel and lean into it. And if this isn't happening yet, it's very soon, because it's very clear for your reading that this is what's going on. You're tuning into the higher timeline, your higher timeline, your soul choice, your soul mission, your soul destiny, what you chose to experience here on this planet after you did the cleanup. You've done the cleanup. You've gone through the transformation. And here's the time. The time is now, where this is coming online. Okay, so you're perceiving options that you weren't able to perceive before. Maybe you were, but it wasn't really time yet. You weren't able to like really focus on them or sustain that focus, and now you are. The cactus wren are talking. The cactus wren, they always feel kind of like, I don't know, in a sense, they're different than other birds, you know. I guess they're maybe like crows in a way, you know, where they're cackly and this and that, but they hang out together, and, you know, they have a good time, and they're really communal, and they don't care, you know, they don't care if they sound crotchety, you know, so for me, like, they're always out on this porch, you know, especially this time of year, and it's just always this kind of energy of like, yeah, we're doing it different, we're doing our own thing, we're doing it our own way. So I love that they're really here in this reading this morning. Oh my gosh, you get the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands is that union card, it's the celebration card, it's the community card coming together, you know, it's kind of like the cactus wren, you know, they're having a good time. They're having a good time. Why? Because they're free, you know, because they've done this transformation. They've gone through and they've sat with, you know, it could be years or lifetimes sitting with this density, these Akashic karmic densities that you chose to take on, and again, in service to all, because the truth of reality is this Four of Wands type of union, wholeness within self, union with others, oneness. And, you know, those of us that do that deep dive transformational work help unlock and clear the collective consciousness, clear the fear programs and the hijacks, the limiting thinking in the etheric realm, the telepathic network. It frees things up for everybody, okay, and brings in this union energy within yourself and within the world. So again, this is kind of like a celebration card where it's like, you know, you're here, okay, and you've moved on from this. You did it with all your might. Like, you might have felt like, oh my gosh, you might have even judged yourself for that. Like, this is just trial after trial, and what is wrong with me, and why can't I get it together, and I don't have money, and I don't have this, and I don't have that. And it's like your soul was big enough that you chose to take that on, so that it's a very similar, this message keeps coming up, it's very kind of similar but a little bit different to the Leo reading yesterday, where it's really highlighting the service and the bigness, but also that we're getting on the other side of this part of the journey, because we've done enough of it, and the energies are so supportive right now that we're going through these transformations, where now it's not just about the karmic and the collective cleanup, the lineage cleanup, all that. It's like that was a phase. Okay, we're coming out of that phase. The energies right now are assisting us. It's moving faster. We're coming into this higher timeline. We're coming into the possibilities, the ideas, the inspirations of what do we want to, you know, what do we want to do? What do we want to put our focus on? You know, daydreaming and staying in that kind of liminal space of like just being excited, almost even like maybe a little disassociated. Not that I'm not disassociated, because it's definitely not the point, but you know, when we're kind of like tuning into this higher timeline, we're tuning into it. We're still grounded, we're still in our bodies, but we're tuning into this. We're focusing on it, we're bringing it forward. I feel like I want to pull another animal oracle for some reason. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we get 2 cards. Wow. Okay, chameleon spirit, act as if, and eagle spirit has your back. Okay, so this is telling me that like this phase that you're in right now, this next stage that you're in your Ascension awakening journey, which is one of tuning into the higher timeline, starting to be inspired. It's new, okay? It's new. So when we're in a new space, we don't really know where we are. We can feel a little bit like, oh gosh, you know, I don't really know what I'm doing. You know, I'm feeling all this energy, but I don't really know what to do with it. Like, it's okay. It's okay to just kind of hang in this sort of like liminal space, this kind of like in between otherworldly kind of energy, because I feel like what I'm also feeling from this is you're probably getting a lot of downloads right now. Like, you're getting information. You might feel a little ungrounded. Maybe that's why I said the disassociated, because it's like you might be feeling a little bit ungrounded. But with the Eagle card and Spirit has your back, like for me, this is, in this moment, this again is like a download card, like where you've reached a certain level, you've crossed the point in your initiation, you've crossed a threshold where you're able to receive more than you could before, which is what was coming out with this as well. It's like, you know, there are things you have access to that you couldn't before, because you still had to clear a lot of density within yourself to allow the room for this higher stuff to come in. But also, this was just the priority, because it was also part of your service and part of, you know, the contracts you had with other people that you had to complete and clear up. And you took on a lot. It's very clear that you took on a lot. But anyway, in this moment now, you're receiving new information. It's new for you, okay? And that can make us feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. So I love that this card came out, Chameleon, act as if. Now, of course, you know, this isn't like a worldly act as if where we're like, you know, we're done with that. We're done with like, you know, trying to fit into the old paradigm. That's why we did all this, and that's why we transformed. But it's kind of like act as if, where you're in these new energies and you don't really know what you're doing, but just kind of like trust, because Spirit has your back. You know, you have this guidance, you have this connection now that you didn't have before, or it wasn't time to have before. Now you have it, and so you're gonna be guided, you're gonna be supported. I mean, Spirit has your back, okay? You know, and this is a lucky time. It's like you don't need to worry if you don't know what to do or how to do it. You know, again, yes, you're in this sort of like otherworldly space where you're just kind of tuning in, and that's exactly where you need to be right now. And that, you know, in every choice moment where there's something presenting to you where you feel that beginner's mind, where you're like, oh my God, I don't know anything, you're not going to be able to like freeze. I mean, this is kind of like a freezing energy where you just don't do anything, and you might have been in that for a really long time. You're not going to be able to do that anymore, because you're just in a different energy. Like literally, even if you tried to contract, you couldn't. You know, you just, everything in these cards, you know, it's like you've moved on, you've gone through the transformation. You know, you're back with your original guidance, which is also this, you know, you're back with your original blueprint. It's like you have your soul with you again. You have your higher aspects. You have that aspect. It's with you, and it's time. So you can just kind of like, just assume that you're going to know exactly what to do. Like, act as if in this moment is like, just know that you're good. Like, you're so connected that no matter what you do, it's going to be the right thing. Yeah, that's really beautiful. Did I pull from my wizard deck yet? I'm going to pull from the wizard deck. I may have gotten one. How long did I talk for? Oh, 18 minutes. Okay, we might be wrapping up. I can't believe I talked for 18 minutes already. All right, Virgo. This might be the wrap up. It might not. Let me see. Okay, yes. Oh my gosh, this is the wrap up. This is the wrap up on like all the readings. It's such a powerful time right now. It's the 6 of Pentacles, okay? So this is the reward card. Again, this is where you've done the hard work. You've arrived, Virgo. You've arrived. it's been hard. It's been long. You didn't think it was ever going to end, but it's like you're at that point now. Again, you're in the lucky time. You're in the Six of Pentacles, is like all the hard work that you've put in. You know, we've tended our gardens, we've planted the seeds, we've watered, we've done all the things, and now we're receiving the harvest. We're receiving the harvest. We're receiving, and it's our birthright. It's our birthright when we're in alignment with our original blueprint, with our higher selves, our higher aspects, when we're in alignment with what we're truly here to do and be. And you're going to feel this again, that sunrise energy. That's what I keep feeling from this sunrise energy, where it's just going to be more and more and more and more, where all of a sudden, you know, you just find things coming to you. You find this abundance. And this is another message with this too. It's like, don't worry if you don't understand or you feel unsure, because this is the path. This is the path, and it's your birthright, and it's inevitable. It's just cosmic law. It's like when you do that amount of shadow work and you put in the time and you just bear it and bear it and bear it, you know, eventually, you know, it's the fruit ripens on the tree, and it's yours. It's yours. It was always yours, and you knew that. You know, you knew that. You may have forgotten while you were in the midst of this kind of energy, and you were meant to forget, because that's how we crack that seed. That's how that seed cracks, and your seed cracked. So you can expect this reward. You can expect this abundance. You can expect this lucky time. So beautiful message, and you're reading more than the others. It's like, it's so interesting to watch the collective energies go through the different elements and through the different signs. So Virgo being a mutable earth sign, it's like this is manifestation energy as well. This is things landing on the earth. So you being an earth sign and a mutable sign, it's like you're quick, you know, you're catching this. You're catching this first, because, you know, you're I don't know, just the position that you're at. And it's fun to learn about it's fun to learn how the collective energies funnel through. I know we all have all kinds of different elements and energies in us, and our moon and our rising. That's why it can be fun to watch the other ones too. But I'm just observing that, like, Virgo is kind of at the cutting edge of landing this new timeline. That's what I'm seeing right now. So thank you for all the work that you've done and all that you are, and the diligence and persistence with which you stick through things, and how much you've taken on, and in walking this new path, which is coming for you if it hasn't already. You're carving the way for others, because you're planting these seeds on the earth. You're planting them. Again, Six of Pentacles, Six of Earth, you know, you're planting them, you're bringing them forward. You've birthed them from within you. So anyway, just honoring the work and the passage that you've done, and just the quality and energy of Virgo. So thank you, and thank you for listening. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you next time, seeing what comes up. You join me again.